Here we go. Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is John, our resident Millennial. John, how are you doing tonight?
Fantastic, of course.
Fantastic, of course.
Stuff.
Are you
Very
sure
it's
fan?
Can you stop talking while I'm talking? Thank you. Very excited about our new intro.
Hey, folks,
stuff.
welcome to the Generational
awesome.
Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is John,
now you may
our
speak.
resident Millennial. Sorry about that. My YouTube feed was jumping in on me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Midget B in the chat.
Midget B's in the chat?
Midget
Where's my
B,
chat? I didn't see anything.
Oh my god, you didn't set up your chat.
It is set up. It's
what did you think of the new intro there, Midget B? I thought it was kind of cool. If you get some Midget B stamp of approval, we'll know it's cool.
Yeah, he's going to give hate. He always gives hate.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because he thinks I'm Jewish.
It's not about like getting hate from him. It's just about how much of it that you're getting.
The level.
Like if it's less of it, then you know it's a good thing.
Is that what it is?
Streaming the stream, Robert. Apparently, you're streaming the stream. I don't follow.
It's already done. I told you my YouTube feed was up.
Gotcha.
Because I was looking at the efficacy of the show on the different feeds.
See, Wyatt likes the new graphics, and here we go. This is the high praise from Midget B. He said, "It's all right."
It's all right.
Yeah, so that means you know it's fantastic.
It's better than a sharp stick in the eye. How's that?
That's probably true. Yeah.
If you've ever had a sharp stick in the eye, I can tell you right now, it's better than that.
Yeah.
Hey, John, welcome to the show. Are you excited? Are you pumped?
Super excited.
Are you thrilled?
I'm liking our new stuff. Finally, Robert stepped out of his boomer shoes and created at least something passable. So I'm pretty excited about that.
See, the irony in that statement, John, is it would be that I would need to be stay in my boomer shoes, because since we built the internet that you so easily spit upon, But yeah, I decided to have a little fun. I've been playing around and having a little fun here and there. I'm finding out new things that I can do with OBS. OBS is really kind of blown out and expanded in the things that you can do. New stuff's getting added all the time, so I'm having fun with that. Hey, folks, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We've got all that fun stuff going on down in the description, all those wonderful places that you can find us. You'll be hearing about that throughout the show. Hey, John, before we get too deep into it, we have got to make folks aware of a couple of things. So if you could you make the announcements that we've got coming up in the very near future?
That's right. Yes, this coming Monday, just a couple of days away, our very next show after this one, we have the R-Rated Conservative is going to be on. He gave us a shout out on his show on Wednesday. That was kind of cool. Really funny guy. Really, I don't know. He's got that like Joe Everyman kind of look to him. He's a cool guy though. Really funny. Like I said, and then actually this Sunday, I'm going to be on Stephen Ignoramus's channel doing a stream about the French Revolution. So make sure you don't miss that.
Are you going to be flexing your ignoramus?
I'm going to be flexing on the ignoramus and be like, boom, history.
Ooh,
He's
yeah.
like,
You might want to. You might want to stuff those.
Yeah, I'm gonna put like tissue and like what's the other stuff called? That's stuff that you get in like those gift bags, those shitty like paper things.
You can't bring. I don't know what they are. If you're not bringing these to the show, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh shit! Midget B says, so on the way home there were 6 squad cars and an ambulance at the Popeyes. The drive-through line was around the building.
Yeah, you know why that is? Because of this competition that's going on between Chick-fil-A and Popeyes about who's got the best sandwich. Popeyes down at the Popeyes by my house as well. Constantly, the drive-through is packed up. This new chicken sandwich thing war that's going on.
And apparently they can hear you clicking the...
surprise that you can hear a mouse click with a, like you've never heard it before. Ooh.
Very, very unprofessional, Robert.
Whatever. You know what's unprofessional? This dog that's under my table licking my gnats. That's unprofessional.
That is Stephen Ignoramus in the house. I was just talking about our Sunday stream coming up about the French Revolution. So yeah, guys, make sure you're there. Popeye's pea out of chicken. Yeah, that's when riots start, dude. So anyway, after that, and since he's here, I'll ask him formally in public, to hopefully to humiliate him. On Tuesday, I believe we are doing a Freedom Scoop group, you know, I guess stream on Steven's channel.
Yeah, they
I
call it a
believe that's the
stream
case.
these days.
We've not heard of anything else. So
Yeah, Stephen was trying to pull something together there, I think, on the 29th, so I'm hoping.
yeah. So I guess we'll find out in about 20, 30 seconds whether or not that's happening.
Maybe get us a little Wyatt action in there.
There's some Jay Edgar, some Jake from Freedom Scoop action.
That
I don't
would
know
be
who
some
else
fun
is.
stuff. That's it.
Who
That's
else
us.
is in? I think that's us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
We're
6 of us.
We're like a clique in high school, right?
We're like the Brady Bunch kids, just with no girls, unless you count Ed.
That's true. Ed could just wear a wig. I actually got a wig for my costume. Just got here today.
Oh yeah.
Which, speaking of that, yes, Freedom Scoop group poop shoot. Jesus, that's way too many oops. I can't deal with that many oops and oops. Yeah, I'm not Canadian. No oops.
Wow, that's a whole lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So anyway, coming up, Halloween. What is that? 6 days away now. We've got our charity stream for St. Jude's. And so we're going to be going from 9 p.m. to midnight, and that's Eastern time, the only legitimate time zone. And that's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some stuff set up. We've got some nice little... Robert's been working very busily on his graphics and stuff. So that'll be cool. We'll have...
Don't oversell.
Cameron will be in the house. Cameron will be in the house giving us some kind of Halloween quiz-tacular.
The Gen Gap Spooky Quiz-tacular.
Yes.
Ooh, it's going to be exciting, fun stuff.
Quite. And then, let's see. Then Christmas, around Christmas, Friday, December 6th, we've got our 12-hour live stream for Toys for Tots. So that we can, it's a tongue twister, yeah. So we can hopefully get some toys to some needy kids who won't otherwise get any on Christmas. And that can't be allowed.
No, we don't want kids to go without toys for Christmas. That would be sad. And it will be.
Very sad.
We're going to go ahead and since we're going to dub this the first annual Generational Gap holiday stream, and I believe we're going to attempt to do this each year. And I think Toys for Tots, I mean, it's solid. If we can do that each year for Christmas. I don't have a problem with that, provided we haven't been deplatformed by then. It all depends on whether or not we can keep our moderators under control.
That's right.
Well, that's a lot of stuff coming up, John. That's a lot of stuff to put on the calendar. A lot of stuff on my plate. It's I don't know if I'm going to have time for all that. It makes me nervous. But hey, anyway, what can you do? So, John, anything exciting happening for you this week? Anything at all? Anything wonderful? Anything that jumped out at you?
I mean, so yeah, just the streams that I have coming up that I've mentioned. That's pretty cool. But other than that, no, my life's pretty boring. See, what happens is, like, in between streams, I just kind of shut down. I sit right here still. I just kind of power down. And then right before the show comes on, Robert clicks a button and was like, I'm here, ready to go.
Which is why you have nothing interesting to say during the shows, because you haven't spent any time prepping.
Right. You just kind of power me up, and I'm like, oh, shit.
All right, Steven says he's in if we are. So we need to double check with Ed. We need to double check with Jake from Freedom Scoop. And since he's here, we've got Wyatt here. So Wyatt, we're talking the 29th. I believe the time would be 9:30 to, 9 to 10:30 or something like 9:30 to 10, 11.
I hope it's earlier.
I forget what
make it earlier.
No.
Let's make it earlier if we can. No, really, because I have to go to bed early on Tuesdays. So.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
I think you're going to have to make an exception for this one. We've already talked about this.
Apparently not. Apparently we.
If you're the only one that throws a wrench into it, John, you're just going to have to suck it up. This is not all about you.
I have to be at work at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, dude.
It's the Freedom Scoop group Poop Shoot, not the Freedom Scoop John Poop Shoot.
More like the Freedom Scoop minus John Poop Shoot.
All right, so I want to get your opinion, John. We're sending tank battalions back into Syria. We're sending stuff back into Syria and keeping troops there now because Russia and Turkey have decided to get in bed with each other, and Russia is going to help Turkey hold on to that bit of land in Syria that they've pushed into.
Oh, hey, Anarchy Duck in the chat. I don't think I've seen you before. Welcome.
A little anarchy never hurts.
Especially with ducks.
So, this does not bode well for our relationship with Russia if we're sending even heavier military into Syria in response to what's going on with Turkey and Russia. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously we're going into Saudi Arabia because, you know, they're kind of our allies, if you will. My guess would be so that we can then move in somewhere else if we need to, like the stuff's already there.
No.
Go back into, wait, what are you?
We're sending more military into Syria to help protect oil interests.
Into Syria,
right? Because Syria, because Russia and Turkey are banding together to hold on to the tract of land that Turkey is pushing the Kurds out of, which is basically them taking part of Syria, which Syria is not too happy about, and Russia's backing them. So now we're sending tanks in. And keeping the 1,000 troops that we already have there, adding to it, including the men that have to handle the tank battalion, all the resources for that, to help protect from this situation that's going on. I'm concerned about what that says for where that could take us with Russia. There's been some of the articles I read were speculating that this could be a precursor to a very serious situation with Russia.
Well, obviously they're going to say that. I mean, I don't know. I don't like that it's counter to us taking the troops out, which we were supposed to do.
Yeah, that was a quick backtrack.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was
lots of new faces tonight. We got Horseman Ew says hi.
Oh, we gotta like
Horseman Ew.
EW. I wonder what that. Horseman. Bojack Horseman. Is that Bojack in the chat?
Bojack himself.
So yeah, I mean, there's been a lot going on, not just with Syria, but it's interesting that between the impeachment and between what's been going on with Syria and Biden, we've just completely forgotten about Iran. I mean, I haven't heard a whisper, nothing. Other than unless we just decided to say, okay, Saudi Arabia said they can handle this, we're going to let them. But I'm kind of surprised that one was let go. I figured that would be something for Trump to move in on. But I guess Syria's got his attention right now. And I'm really thinking that we're about to make some serious enemies. I think the situation is going to turn nasty in Syria because Syria doesn't want this. They're pissed off that they're like we're not happy about someone taking part of our land. Yeah.
Steven said 9 to 10:30 Eastern. I think I can do that.
That's what we talked about. 9 to 10:30 Eastern, which is a good time for me. It's perfect for me. I mean, I can back it out a little bit. I can do it a little earlier. So just let me know.
Yeah. But when it comes to like this whole thing, we're going to be in the Middle East forever. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, because you can't just wait till it stabilizes. I mean,
but the problem is according to reports, all of ISIS wasn't handled. Like, we're going in there to protect the oil interests. Part of what we're protecting it from is ISIS that's still there when the caliphate was supposed to have been destroyed and most of them captured, which apparently not all of them are still in custody. So, I'm suddenly getting a very mission accomplished banner vibe from this whole Syria thing. If ISIS was taken care of, we don't need to send tanks to protect from it. I don't know. Unless that's a smokescreen to that, what we're really going into is to just piss off Russia, to fuck with Russia and Turkey. What is it? We've got Skander. Is that CJ?
Skander CJ says, "Fuck you."
Oh, that's a pleasant hello.
Yeah. How you doing?
I like a nice hello like that. Lets me know that I'm popular.
Right.
Bad press is still press, right?
That's right.
That's what they say. So anyway, I think that this is something that is going to need some watching to see how it unfolds. I think it's going to get real sketchy, and I don't know if the impeachment's going to be enough to hide from that. So, we're going to have to talk a little bit about politics, John. We're going to have to talk about the Democratic candidates because some stuff happened this week. Like Tulsi today, I think it was today, announced to Hawaii that she was not going to be running in the next congressional election, which of course makes sense. If you're going to be running for president, you feel like you've got a shot. You want to, you don't want to split your horse. I don't even know if she can run. Can she run for? She can't run for a congressional seat
think she can run both.
Campaign for president at the same time. Anyway. But it's possible that she feels confident enough in her chances that she can just ditch that, because there would probably be time, like if she fell out of the race, to go ahead and campaign and push for that congressional seat. But she's kind of pushed that to the side.
She's going balls deep into this presidential race,
right?
Which is good, but at the same time, I don't know how much of a chance she has, not because of her herself, but because of, obviously the DNC has been pretty clear that it's against her. And like what we're about to talk about soon is that, as soon as Hillary comes in, that's it. For any other candidate, the DNC and the media are going to just shill for Hillary, and that'll be it for everybody.
Do you think they're going to capitulate that easily to Hillary when it took her so long to get in?
Absolutely. 100%. They've already been doing it. She's been everywhere.
So
Steven says Tulsi's going to be drafted. We need all hands on deck to protect the oil. Fucking Christ. Yeah. I mean, she might get called back. Isn't she still in the National Guard? I'm not sure if she still is, but she was until very recently, if she isn't still. But yeah, I mean, god damn. Could you imagine that, sending a presidential candidate off to war? I mean, I'm not against it, but let's send everybody.
But I mean,
let's send Biden, let's send Buttigieg, let's send all of them.
There's a lot to be said for, instituting a new draft, too.
Dude, Prudent Inc. in the house. Look at all these new people. Awesome. Good to see some new faces, even if they do say, fuck you. It's political suicide, says Wyatt. What would be, not running for Congress, or... Oh, for Hillary. Right. For Hillary? I don't think so. I don't think she can be killed politically. I think she's just, in there forever. She's a legacy.
Is that what she is?
She's still active duty. She was recently rotated, says Midget. Gotcha.
Recently rotated. So, that that's the thing, though. If of course, her stepping down from the congressional race for Hawaii is instantly, of course, one of the first things when that popped up in Discord was the question, okay, is this another indication that she's going to break party? Right?
Right. That has been a concern for others.
So the real question is when is it most beneficial for her to break party? If she's aware that the DNC is not going to back her, wouldn't now be the prudent time to switch to a third party?
I mean, so we know that a third party doesn't really work in this country, unfortunately, which, I mean, obviously that would be best if we could, but it wouldn't work for her. She's not going to get enough support. As each Democratic candidate, falls out, she can pick up some of those votes. If she goes third party or independent, she's not going to get the benefit of that, and she's not going to be able to be up on the debate stage. So, I mean, she's not going to get as much. I mean, she'll have the online, clout and stuff. Her little following, we're going to push for her, but that's about it. And she's also on the record now as saying that she won't do it, that she won't go third party. So I don't think so. I mean, she'd be obviously lying if she did, and then that would look bad on her. And she's pretty much stuck.
So I guess that makes me wonder. I mean, is everyone just spinning their wheels? I mean, is Warren still getting the? I mean, is she going to continue to get the nod? I can't stand the thought that they want Warren.
Yeah, she's just like slightly younger Hillary. I mean, and she's more of a mom than Hillary is, which I think is even worse.
See,
she's got that like mom homey kind of feel to her, and just not as a president.
I'm of a mind. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I'll buy your kids Girl Scout cookies, but like, you can't run the world. No, sorry. That's all I was gonna say.
The only thing about Tulsi, if she doesn't go third party, then I would think that would be the impetus for Hillary to jump in. I said that earlier today in Discord, that I think that that would be the impetus that Hillary would say, okay, I need to sweep in and save the Democratic Party, because now Tulsi-Splitting third party is going to give it to Trump, because she's going to split the Democratic vote and pull, give Trump the win. Play, as she said, play into the Russians' hands, as it were. Yeah. But I don't know. I just can't understand. Yeah, I don't understand why Warren. I don't get it. She's pointless. She right. doesn't.
Well, she. That's exactly what that's what the DNC wants, right? They want a bland, candidate that will toe the line, just do what they say. They don't want someone going rogue like Trump does.
When it's all said and done, earlier this week? Was it on Monday? Yeah, $800 billion education.
Yeah, we talked about that Monday
bill that she wants to put through.
Yeah,
$800 billion for education, and I'm like, you guys have fucked education up really bad with a lot less money. I mean, $800 billion is a lot of screwing up education, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But these kind of ideas that she has, I don't know.
Stephen Ignoramus coming in with the spicy takes.
The Federal Reserve to the Federal Reservation. Nice. That's funny. Here, that one definitely.
That's racist.
That's just hard.
Oh man.
There we go. There's some spicy chat for you. There you go, folks. Spicy.
Did you light the chat on fire?
It's on fire now.
Nice.
Steven set it up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Is it because Biden? They've given up hope on Biden. Biden's not going to be able to recover from this Hunter bullshit.
Yeah, there's too much controversy around him. Whereas, with Warren, she had that little bit of thing, but that was long enough ago that people don't care anymore.
I would just think there's Seawall in the house rolling in on his half track.
Seawall.
I don't know.
How much does gas cost for that? Is that a diesel half track? I suppose it is.
It doesn't matter. It's taxpayer money that funds them. So it doesn't. What difference does it make how much it costs, John?
Yeah.
Get the premium. No, I would think that they would stick with Biden, because there's just as many sources that will show where there's guilt involved in this Burisma conspiracy, as there are people that'll show that the opposite side. I mean, I've seen both sides say, here's the proof that there's no conspiracy. Well, here's the proof that there is. Okay, fine. It's just another scandal. So you would think that they would want to stay on top of Biden, keep Biden pushing forward, so they could re-Obama, for another at least 4, maybe 8 years. If they could, we're only 4 years out from Obama. Basically, when the election happens, we could re-Obama and have Biden take
Obama.
I'm just saying, because Warren's not a good option, and if Biden's not a good option, then that's going to force Hillary to sweep in, because that leaves Bernie. And they've already stuck it to him once. They'll stick it to him again. And I know they're scared as hell of someone like Yang coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I hate the DNC. I hate it because there's.
What about Big Mike Obama?
Big Mike Obama.
Oh my god. You know what? Some women have bulges, Steven. All right, doesn't mean that they're men just because they have a bulge.
So
man.
But the other question is, does Trump want to go up against Hillary? Can Trump face Hillary and take her down a second time?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Is it possible? Why is Obama not already his slogan? Good question, really Midget. That would have been a great campaign slogan.
It's probably because it would be racist because he's not black.
It would just be no change. Semicolon.
The battle of the bulge.
Rebama.
Steven is really fucking on fire tonight, man. On fire.
It's interesting that Hillary thinks, has been talking about, like Tulsi being a Russian asset because if she switches party, it'll give it to Trump. Does she not realize that just by entering the election, she will give it to Trump? I mean,
she obviously doesn't think that she will. I mean,
it'll be a repeat of 2016.
But Robert, it's her turn.
But it was her turn in 2016. How did that turn out?
It was her turn in 2012, I believe. It was still her turn. It's been her turn for a while.
If people are presented with the same two evils, they're going to go with the evil they know.
Yeah.
It's really, and she's been out of the picture too long. Since Clinton was president, since she was Secretary of State, the only thing that she's currently remembered for are emails that she was cleared of.
Oh, man.
Supposedly.
Yeah, Seawall saying Gillibrand or Tulsi were Trump's biggest threats. I don't think Gillibrand...
Yeah, Gillibrand was only a threat to herself.
Never a threat to anybody. Oh, 2008, I'm being corrected. Thank you, Chet. Yeah, it was 2008 that she ran against Obama.
And I mean, I don't even count that because...
Hillary.
I mean, when it's
Hillary is VP, you think? You say I would love Trump Hillary. You saying Hillary is VP? Hillary is the running again. Yeah, I mean we've done that already.
Yeah, I mean we've done it. And even the rate, when she was, when she was against Obama, I mean that was a no-brainer. She wasn't going to get it because the DNC had to pander to minorities above women in that race because they had the opportunity. In this past one, they had the opportunity to get a woman out there. They just had no idea that Trump was going to do whatever the fuck it was he did and managed to pull it out. They had no idea that was going to happen. And that's evidenced by the fact that they screwed Bernie and they threw him under the bus.
Right. A lot of people don't think so, but I do think that Bernie would have had a chance.
I absolutely believe Bernie would have come out the winner on that one, and that if they
absolutely had a chance.
Well, that's just my opinion. I think he would have. I think because when it's all said and done, he's not going to get flustered like the pantsuit does.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's not good at speaking off the cuff and having witty comebacks or anything like that. She's just stick to the script and that's it.
And that's where Bernie could, Bernie would have brought out the righteous justice on his ass, I mean, that's what I want to see.
I like what Seawall said there. A corn snake is a bigger threat than roadkill I said biggest threats, not serious threats. So that's fair. That's fair.
But hey, you ugly old men. Oh, that's
What?
good.
How
I
dare
like
you?
that.
I'm not old. The fuck? I'm not old. I'm not even 30
And I'm
yet.
not ugly.
Well, I mean, come on.
But Bernie is perma-flustered. But by God,
He is, yeah.
it's almost like when he really gets on a tear, it's almost like he starts to glow. They can't see you sweat if you're always sweating. See, that's just the way it's true. But no, I'll go ahead and say it now. If Hillary enters the race,
cold-hard Americans. I like that. Thank you.
they
Isaac Gullet. I don't know if that's how you say your name, but yeah, thank you.
if Hillary enters the race, I'll predict it now. She'll give the race to Donald Trump. It will be a hand to him because the DNC will be stupid enough to pick her for the in the primary, and it's all over from there. She won't be able to stand up to it. She'll collapse. The best she'll be able to do is try and throw mud at him and sit there and say, "Oh, but my email scandal was cleared up." And of course, he'll shit on that all day long. Oh, yeah, you had your friends. You conspiracy this, conspiracy that. Right. What happened to Epstein? And so, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You'll see it all.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be that'll be exciting. But I also think that he's gonna be probably undergoing impeachment by the time the elections and stuff are going around. So I think that's I was talking to, or not to, but in Stephen Ignatius's chat like earlier today, about how it's a tactic to have this impeachment going on, where it's all a method to be able to have a tax on him while they're going through these debates or whatever during the primary. No, during the during the general election. They're going to be able to say, oh, well, he's under impeachment. He can't be trusted because he's under impeachment. Meanwhile, that's what they're doing to him, right? It's how they always go back and say, if someone's been credibly accused of doing something, or someone's accused of doing something, as if that's some kind of, for sure they did it just because they were accused of something. It's just, it's a good smear tactic that they're going to be using.
Seawall says Bernie is also a straight-up socialist. He wouldn't have pivoted to the center and would have lost the independents. And I could see that. I could see how it would hurt Bernie. But what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I like this Isaac Gullet guy. I assume it's a guy. He's like, I'm in fucking Australia, but Jesus, you both look so fucking American. Damn right, man. Yeah.
Thank God. I was hoping I looked American. I was trying to get rid of that. I was trying to get rid of that Nazi Germany look, and go with something a little more American so people wouldn't find me out. That's why I got that flag decal back there. It's just a decal. No, but I'm glad I look like an American. But welcome from Australia, of all places.
Yeah, we've got an international audience, an actual international audience. I don't think Canada counts. It's not international enough.
What, Canada?
Yeah, it doesn't count. It's international, in my opinion, at least.
No, I'm going to have to say they don't really count as international. They're just they're next door neighbors. It's like being in a triplex. There's us, and on either side we've got those questionable tenants. Yeah. Exactly. On this side we've got Canada. On this side we've got Mexico, and it's like, hey, turn your music down. Hey, quit coming in my house. It's like. Robert just can't stop Roman saluting. What's the Roman salute?
Just don't do it.
I don't know what a Roman salute is.
There's a couple of them, and one of them was the kind of Nazi salute.
Oh.
In a way, yeah.
Seawall says
Go ahead.
Seawall says, well, if the people from Deep State accusing Trump are facing jail time for breaking laws, impeachment will be a boon to Trump, not a weakness. Yes, this is something that is interesting because this investigation into the Mueller investigation, which is odd to say, they're actually, the DOJ is looking at bringing charges for some of the stuff that went on in that. I'm like, oh. So, but I have to, when you talk about Deep State, Seawall, I have to ask you, who's behind what's the impetus behind these charges being brought by the Department of Justice, who could possibly be in some administrative pocket? I don't know. I'm just saying, there's shadow moves going on all over the place.
And real quick, Isaac says Canada is America. No, New Zealand is Australia, right? That's the same thing,
right? Canada is part of North America, the continent.
Yeah, but the real America is the United States.
Yeah, no, they're not American. They're very nice. You're right. You're too nice to. They're too nice to be American.
I don't trust them.
Yeah, see,
with their little eyes and their flapping heads, I don't trust them.
Right, like Midget says, Barr is working on a criminal investigation. But I'm already of a mind that Barr is in Trump's pocket. Barr is his lapdog, and is going to do what he wants. So, I'm not saying that the criminal investigation is unfounded. I'm just saying, why? What's the reason that some charges are being looked at, coming into play?
My point exactly, Isaac.
Isaac says, "How dare you assume us for those Kiwi blokes?" There you go. See?
Exactly.
So about Canada. Those socialist bastards. They're all high and going to the doctor free of charge.
Right? Assholes, man.
Canada is America, just more syrup-drenched soy. I like that.
Yeah. Their only export is maple syrup and snow.
Snow. Do they export snow?
Well, yeah. Where do you think it comes from?
Yeah. I thought it was coming from Mexico. I don't know. I get confused sometimes.
No, that's where the cocaine comes from.
Global warming.
Is sometimes called snow.
Right. See, there's the thing. It's like, okay, which snow are we talking about? That is an interesting point, that this investigation is going on. See, that's why I'm wondering, is this a 4D chess move by Trump? Is he sitting in the background just like, let's see if Barr can find some crimes here but is it enough to dissuade from the impeachment? Because the impeachment doesn't really have a lot to do with the Mueller report, that investigation. This is all about the Ukraine. Now, yes, there's some talk about the server. Was there a server being used there instead of Russia, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But the two are different, right? They're exclusive?
To be fair, I wasn't listening to the last thing you just said. Can you just repeat that? Because I was watching the chat. It was nice. Sewell said, under the current prime minister, they export blackface photos of a world leader. It's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you were
saying
that's a good export.
It's true though.
I'm just saying, between the two, with Barr maybe doing an investigation into the whole Mueller thing, blah blah blah, but is that not exclusive from the impeachment, which is focused on Ukraine and acts there?
I saw something actually just a little bit before we came on here that they're like trying to get the Mueller, trying to do the investigation on the Mueller report for the impeachment, like as part of the impeachment inquiry, which I think is weird. But yeah, I don't know. So many moving pieces. I have no idea, to be honest.
See, Stephen Ignoramus says he's warming up to the 4D chess theory.
Well, I don't think everything he does is 4D chess, but I think that he does have quite a bit of it.
I'm just saying.
I think he more like takes opportunities of, takes advantage of things that happen, as opposed to trying to like predict, okay, this is going to happen, so when that does, I'm going to do this, and then when that does, I think he just says, okay, this happened, how can I spin it to a positive? And that's kind of his 4D chess deal.
Right. Sewell says the impeach is being held behind closed doors, and plus Ukraine is a weird nexus for all of this. Talking about the behind closed doors, of course, there was a big Republican, what's the word? I'm scrambling for the word here. Disruption, where they busted in on the impeachment inquiry.
Which is awesome.
Now,
yeah.
It is and it isn't. Only from the standpoint, the inquiry. Let's look back at the Clinton impeachment. When the inquiry went on with that, was that a behind closed doors inquiry, just like any other inquiry might have been? When it's all said and done, whether the Democrats have been wasting a lot of fucking time, after the Mueller investigation, and now, people think that this is just another thing where they're just trying to find some way to get Trump. I get it. But their job is checks and balances. This is part of their job. This is very specifically a part of their job.
Isaac. Thanks for subbing.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for coming in, Isaac.
We got a new subscriber.
But, it's like I see both sides of this. I mean, it is their job. And for Republicans to try and stonewall it and do shit like that, I mean, it's like, look, you guys, I mean, it's not like they're not releasing information as it comes out in the inquiry. I mean, we've already seen testimony that the latest ambassador gave. What's his McNugget? Where he's basically saying, yes, there was a quid pro quo engagement that went on with this. He testified to this, and we found out about it. So it's not like this closed door inquiry is hiding anything. We're finding out what's happening.
We're finding out some things that are happening.
Well, sure.
Not enough, yeah. Not enough.
Manafort, so Mitchell says, what was it he said?
H.A. Goodman has been right on top of this the whole time. It's also clear when you wipe away obfuscation. I don't know who H.A. Goodman is, but you've mentioned him before. Might have to check him out.
Sewell says Manafort was working with a Clinton campaign leaders, both laundering money. Yeah, I mean, yeah, corruption in Washington. But, yeah. Biden's son with former CIA guy was on the board. And Midget says Podesta was given immunity at the outset of the investigation. Sewell says the Ukraine ambassador worked with Clinton camp to leak shit to try to hurt Trump. But see, all of these things, it's like, okay, Midget says, Sewell with the facts was like, okay, so yes, we can go on what's being said, but I can't get clear facts on anything. I can't be sure about anything that's being said one way or the other. I mean, like I said, there's, both sides are producing information counter to what the other side says, and they're all spewing it out as fact. I don't know. It gets a little sketchy. It's all I'm seeing is like, hey, here's a very big expose on all the corruption that's going on in Washington.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I like what Steven says there. They should hold these meetings in the park and live stream it. He said he'll volunteer. I absolutely agree with that, yeah. Live stream everything. You want to be transparent. Let us see it live without, the middleman of the media deciding what we get to hear and what gets to be, said.
Yeah, and so Sewell's correct. He said he was under the impression there was quid pro quo. But, I mean, when it's all said and done, that's him taking a stance and his opinion. That's just his testimony. So, testimony is testimony, right? I mean, that's what he's going on. So they have to use that as just something to move forward from and look deeper into it. Maybe he's lying. I don't know. Does he have a reason to lie?
Everyone's got a reason to lie.
But of course, yes, the cross-examination, of course, testimony, they may not be releasing because they've got to go into all of the bits and pieces about classified information and all of this. But I can't imagine that any of these inquiries would be done open door. I don't, we're talking about impeaching the president. They've got to sit down and they have to have private conversations with people and do their job. Was it Midget? What was it?
Oh, speaking of, Midget says make sure there are a lot of trees in the park. We hold it at like Redwood National Forest. Speaking of trees, I actually heard about this today from a whole bunch of huge YouTubers.
Huge?
Yeah.
Like all the fat ones?
Yes. But apparently, if you go to teamtrees.org, they are, let me open it up real quick. They're trying to plant 20 million trees around the globe by January 1st of 2020. So for each dollar that's donated, they plant a tree, and they're up to 1.6 million at the moment, which is awesome. So that seems like a really good cause. It seems like something I would want to promote. Sounds really cool. They were at what was it? What did I say? It was like 1.4 before we started. So it's gone up 200,000 in the past 45 minutes. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I did put the link down in the description. So if you guys feel inclined to give to that, then so be it. And that'll be all I say about that.
There was some South America, was it Brazil that they were doing it in? Do you remember I mentioned something about they were doing a big initiative to do a bunch of tree replanting down there? It's just funny you say that about 20 million trees by the end of the year. Because they were like, they had this huge number of trees in the millions and everything, but they were so aggressive with it that I think they were planting like was it like well over 1 million a day, something, it's 2 or 3 million, I don't know. In a short period of time, they were just like out there just busting out trees, dropping them in the ground. I'm like, leave it to America to take a good 3-4 month stroke at it. We'll try and get it.
Yeah, so like I said, the link is down there in the description. You know, up to you. I'm not going to push it anymore after today, but, you know.
Trees are good. Trees are good.
Trees are all right.
Yeah, they give us oxygen. It's a little thing.
Yeah, but they also give us, like, spiders and stuff. And
they don't give you spiders. Spiders just hang out in trees sometimes.
Right, exactly.
And birds hang out in the trees and eat the spiders. So what's your crybabiness? Do you really... Are you scared of spiders, John?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah, spiders are fucking disgusting. They're abominations unto the Lord.
Are you scared of ghosts, John?
No. Did you really?
It's scary.
Why would you do that? We were supposed to save that.
No.
Frick.
It's just it's a preview. It's your buddy.
Yeah. Gary the Ghost was supposed to debut on Halloween, but
he wasn't going to debut on that. We never talked about that.
We did.
Sewell says, in Congress has not voted on opening an impeachment inquiry, which they are required to do. The reason they don't is so Trump can't face his accusers. Wait, hold on. So have not voted on opening an impeachment inquiry, but there's an impeachment inquiry going on. They're doing it without congressional approval. Isn't it Congress that's got to be doing the that one's a little confused. If you don't mind kind of explaining what you're talking about. Why is there a sperm?
Yeah, that's what we said too when we saw it. It looked more like a sperm than a ghost.
You say that like this is something new to be found on John.
No, I clean up. Come on now.
As soon as you leave the video house.
That's right.
The theater.
Do they have those anymore?
Yes, there are 2 in Tampa.
Oh, do tell.
If you ever want to go, I'll show you.
Okay.
There are 2 of them. The funny thing is there's 2 of them. One's called Fantasyland, and they were so popular they had to open another one, and it's called Fantasyland 2. But it's 2 adult video stores, video and bookstores, adult novelty shops, but they do have theaters and rooms in the back, as it were. There's a whole theater area in the back where folks can go back and watch a movie and have some popcorn or something.
Or something.
Yeah.
Have some extra condiments on the popcorn.
That corn's a poppin'.
Oh my God.
Not that I've ever been. I'm just saying. Okay, so to launch impeachment, the House must vote to start the investigation. All right, but the inquiry is not the investigation. Am I correct? That's what I'm... The inquiry is to determine if they should vote and have an investigation, thus moving forward into impeachment.
Right.
They're doing a pre-inquiry investigation. Okay. So I guess that's... So the way it's being put out there is that this is the impeachment inquiry. So if Midget is correct, they're doing a pre-inquiry investigation. So they're investigating to determine if they want to do an inquiry in which they'll investigate whether or not they want to do an impeachment, which will mean they'll need to investigate to move forward with an actual impeachment. So we need to have 3 investigations to get to the impeachment.
Bureaucracy.
So after he's won in 2020, There'll be an impeachment around 2023, right before he's getting ready to come out of office.
They would too. Yeah, Midget B's making a point. Looking into the start of an inquiry, it's a long ass game. They intend to draw this out. That's the point. Yeah. They haven't even started the inquiry. What have they been doing then? I guess just gathering evidence, right? Or gathering testimony and stuff.
Well, it's
I
like you
imagine.
said, it's a pre-inquiry investigation. They're determining whether or not there's anything to move forward with, or if they're going to have people that are stand up enough to say the right things.
And Ed says, "I want AOC to put out." I don't know. Have you seen her like little limp-wristed fag of a boyfriend? I don't think she puts out, dude. I don't think she does. She's too stuck up.
So Steven says they haven't even started the inquiry, and that's the point I want to make about media, because everything that we're being fed right now is telling us that there's an impeachment inquiry going on, which to me is like, okay, if they're doing it behind closed doors, that's not too surprising. But if this hasn't even been a sanctioned inquiry, then I guess it makes a little more sense as to what happened with the Republicans bashing in on it and disrupting what was going on. That track sounds great. What track? There's a track?
I don't know. Apparently there's a track.
I have no track. I didn't even...
No, it's not on you.
I can't even run track.
I certainly can't run track. My tits will get in the way.
So, when it's all said and done, I don't know. It's going to be fucked up. I don't understand why they want to drag it out. Don't they want this to happen sooner than later? Or do they want to drag it out just long enough to keep another Republican candidate from being able to step into the race? Are they playing the 4D chess on their side to prevent that?
What other Republican has gotten that kind of, any kind of like coverage with the media? You know what I mean? Like, what are there 3 other Republicans running?
Well, there's 2 or 3. I don't know if they're all 3 still in there.
There's Justin Amash, there's Joe Walsh, and there's Bill Weld. I believe those are the 3. And it took me forever to remember Bill Weld was running. I only remember Joe Walsh because of that song, and then Justin Amash was the other one. I think that's who it is. Like I said, like there's no coverage about them, so like I don't know. I mean, who would run against Trump in the Republican Party?
Well, run against him?
Effectively.
Nobody can. Yeah. That's just the thing. Nobody can. They've got to go independent to be able to run as a Republican against Trump, because Trump has the RNC in his pocket tied to his campaign. Remember he did this last year or early this year. He tied the RNC to his campaign to where they are one unit now. They are not working independently. So the RNC, the only horse in the race for them, is going to be Donald Trump. They won't support anybody else going against him. So they've got to be independent runners, even if they are Republican.
Oh, apparently Amash isn't in yet. Sewell makes a good point, though. They want to drag it out in hopes to hurt Trump and increase voter turnout of Dems. Yeah.
Well, see that
they're really pushing that whole, vote blue no matter who kind of bullshit. It's, oh my god, it's fucking dirty.
I mean, if they
oh, that's terrifying.
If they actually have something impeachable and they time it right, they could eliminate a Republican candidate in this next election. Mm-hmm. They, unless it's one of these third party guys, these other Republicans that are trying to run, they might be able to make a loud enough voice. But even from the Democratic side, it's going to be interesting to see, because our next debate is going to happen in December. And Andrew Yang put out a tweet today and said they've amped up the expectation for that debate. You have to be polling at 4% or better, or be polling strong enough in at least 2 of the early states.
Yeah.
So there.
Anna Volches came in and said, "You missed Mark Sanford." That's my point exactly. Who the fuck is Mark Sanford? I have no clue. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. No, it's Trump. Like, yeah, the world missed Mark Sanford exactly. Yeah, I mean, Trump is obviously, he's the one for the quote unquote right. Um, and then yeah, so the Democrats are just gonna eat themselves apart, I guess, but they're just trying to do as much damage to Trump as they can while they're burning themselves to the ground.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
if the impeachment can take him out of the way,
It's not going to.
then you really just have a Democratic field.
Yeah, but they're
Well, it
not going to
depends.
finish.
It depends on
Well,
if
no, they're
they.
not going to finish an impeachment and vote to remove him from office by the time the election comes around.
How long did the whole proceedings with Clinton take?
I don't
Does
know. I was really young when that was going
I'll
on.
put it out there to the chat if anybody remembers how long the entire process Kenneth Starr went through to try and nail Clinton to the wall was. But I want to say that all happened in under a year. I'd have to look it up to see, but I'm not inclined to do so
Probably,
at the
but
moment. But if it could, it
they've been
could.
talking about impeachment for like 3 years. So we've been talking about impeachment before he even got in office. So I mean, obviously it's taken that long just to get around to asking if they should.
See, and notice what Seawall said there, and this is where your RNC comes into play with that tie to Trump, is that multiple states have canceled their Republican primaries. They won't even be having a Republican primary on the assumption that, Trump is the incumbent. He's going to. So you're not. I mean, to be honest with you, I look at the news every damn day, right? And I'm scanning through it, just looking at stuff. And what you don't see is any talk about any other Republican type candidates. And there's apparently 2 or 3 out there on the market, but they are being shut down in media. They're being shut down everywhere. You don't see anything unless you're actively following them and know where to look. So,
yeah.
Again, is there some sense of 4D chess going on the other side where they've taken a page from Donald Trump's playbook and they're like, okay, if we work the timing on this right, we can at least destroy his credibility so much at the key point to get a Democrat elected.
Well, so I think they're smart enough to come up with a plan like that. I don't think that they're smart or competent enough to follow through with it, to the point where it's effective.
Now, I will ask this because I've seen some indication that this is possibly going to happen. So I need you to, so you can tell me if you think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot with this. But there's been talk about broadening this to basically an impeachment over excess of power, excess use of his power. To where they broaden the scope to multiple things. His actions that he's taken since he's been in office. Is that an even more losing gambit for them, or is that a smarter play if you can demoralize his presidency?
I mean, good luck with that. I think that it's a losing battle to try and do that because, first of all, the people who still support him after the past 3 years are not going to stop supporting him because there's a bunch of bad press about him. Right? I mean, there's been nothing but bad press about him for the past even 4 years before he was even president, during the last election cycle. So I think that people already pretty much know who they're going to vote for. And so all this kind of posturing and stuff, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. So J. Edgar, he says that the Clinton investigation, the whole thing with Clinton took about a year, which is about what I thought it did. It was surprisingly fast. If you look at the scope of things, when you look at 8 years as a president, to get that pulled off in a year. So it can happen quickly enough that he could sit down in front of an impeachment hearing well before the November elections. It could happen, but they'd have to get off their ass.
Yeah.
Midget says Hillary would wait until after the debates before joining, and her campaign would even play it up. And that's of course a smart move for Hillary, is to not be in the debate cycle, which I think if Tulsi had the inclination to split party. My thought is that she would wait till after the debates are over as well.
Yeah.
She wants to be able to get on that stage and be in the debates. Then the 4D chess move is to switch to a third party when it's obvious that you're...
Right. But then she shouldn't have said that she would never...
Politicians say things and flip-flop all the time, and they can justify it very simply.
But her whole thing is about like integrity, and she's probably been the most honest. Not necessarily that she has been, but she has been the least dishonest, I guess I should say, the least dishonest person on that stage, other than maybe Yang. But even then, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so having that come up, that's obviously going to be brought up against her. If she does go to a third party or independent, that's going to be used against her, and that could hurt her even more, especially when she's not doing terrible in the polls, but she's not up there with the Biden and the Warren and who else? Buttigieg, I think, is up there. I haven't looked at a recent poll.
Well, I will say that one thing that you have to bear in mind, and I think this is most true when it comes to politicians, integrity can often fall victim to circumstance. Like, if it's like, okay, I'm not going to be able to run for president unless I go third party, integrity takes the passenger seat, and you give a reason why it's important, because it's important to the American people that I run for president. Yeah. So I'm going to have to make this decision, although I didn't want to, and I said I wasn't going to. I have to do it out of good conscience to try and save the American people.
That's obviously how she has to play it.
Yeah.
That's the only way that it can work for her. But, I mean, it's still going to be, an uphill battle from there, because that will be used against her.
Okay, so Jagger says just touching on the Clinton investigation again, he said the first subpoena was issued in December of 97, and February of 1999 was when the acquittal went through. So, yeah, it was about a year and 2 months. A year and 2 months. And Anna Voltis, you're correct. I don't think any there. Well, I take that back. Way back, wasn't there a presidential incumbent that actually had someone run against him from his own party? If I remember correctly, we may have one president in our history. I wish we had Cameron in the chat.
Yeah, he's fucking autistic when it comes to president knowledge. It's actually uncanny. We're gonna have to ask him some stuff during the Halloween thing, because it is very, very impressive.
Yeah, he knows
how
so
much knowledge he has of the presidents of the United States. It's insane.
But
it's really something to see.
I want to say there's some little odd bit of trivia tickling in the back of my head that says there may have been one president in our history who did actually have someone wind up running from his own party, even though he was the incumbent. It's going to be catch as catch can with any. I mean, Tulsi, she talks a good game, but when it's all said and done, John, she doesn't poll as strongly as anybody else, most of the candidates up there on the stage. She's not pulling Warren, Biden, Sanders numbers, right?
Right.
So, what kind of hope does she have in the long run anyway, other than going a third party? So, don't be surprised.
Sure.
If she whips it out near the primaries when she knows it's not going to happen.
Whip it out. Taft and Roosevelt, says Seawall.
Taft and Roosevelt. Both of them had someone run against them?
I assume that's what he's talking about, yeah. Mitchell said he's going to ask you faggot stuff, isn't he? I don't know.
Who?
Probably.
Who, Cameron?
I guess Cameron.
No, he's going to be asking us Halloween trivia.
Which is pretty pretty faggy. But it'll be fun.
Is it, John?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mr. knows all about Nosferatu? What? So
I don't know all about it. I just
apparently
one of the questions.
The only question
That's the only question I know exactly.
Oh, I know that one. I know that German film. It's back from my SS days.
I wasn't alive back then. God.
The traditions carry on, John. Teddy Roosevelt beat Taft. So that was so it has happened. But again, 4D Trump. He played that too smart. He's made sure that he's going to be the Republican nominee. Time says this campaign is the first time an incumbent president has faced a challenger with name recognition within his own party since 1992. So, wait. An incumbent?
Which candidate is Trump facing with name recognition?
Yeah, who with name recognition? That's because again, I'm like, you tell me there's three other Republicans running, and I'm like, who? What?
Yeah, who?
Presidents have been denied nominations by the parties, but they were not primaried in the sense that they lost the primary elections.
Okay.
That makes sense, I think.
You think?
Nominations by the parties, but they were not primaried in the sense that they lost the primary elections. Got it. No, yeah. So, I don't know. It's going to be a shit show. It's still just going to be a shit show. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to fucking think. And I'm waiting to see what he's going to ramp up next. Was there something else that we were going to talk about?
Was there?
Did we have anything?
Did we blow our load all the way in an hour? I guess we did.
I'm okay running an hour show tonight. I don't give a
damn. Does the chat want to talk about anything? Let's see.
Primarying someone.
Is the, go ahead. You read it.
Is the challenger winning in party against an incumbent? Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah,
well,
we're dumb.
I mean, when I'll deny you. There's Jay, as always, ready to deny something. So yeah, it's the same shit show going on right now. So surprisingly enough, even all the SJW shit has been quiet. Like there's just not a lot of anything else going on in the news, but talking about the impeachment, talking about Syria, ignoring Iran, Hong Kong. There's that. That's always fun, but.
Did you hear about Lisa Page, FBI? Did not.
Wait.
Let's not talk about that, midget. We're not trying to get deplatformed yet. Give us some time.
What did he say?
He says he wants to talk about the small hat people.
I don't talk about any of that stuff. You know me.
Not on the air, at least.
No, that's. I don't really talk about them off air either. I think it's all.
We'll shitpost in the Discord, which, by the way, the link to the Discord server is down below. Just little plug.
Okay, I gotta read this. This just popped up. Rudy Giuliani butt dials NBC reporter heard discussing need for cash and trashing Biden's. Obviously, he'd spoken to the reporter earlier that evening.
Wait. Who the fuck butt dials anymore? How do you possibly do that?
If you didn't close your phone and you just stick it in there after a phone call and you accidentally recall back because you hit the button to call again.
So many things have to align perfectly.
I mean, no. It's just a matter of not shutting your phone down and not closing out the phone app. I mean, it's just like, okay, I'm done with the call, and then sticking your phone in your back pocket thinking you ended it. Or you did end it, but you stuck it in your back pocket without anything else. I mean, look at how old he is. Do you think he's like a guru with technology?
I guess. He's almost as old as you are, so I guess, yeah.
He said the call came in at 11:07 p.m. and went to voicemail. The reporter was asleep. The next morning, a message exactly 3 minutes long was sitting in his voicemail. In the recording, the words from Giuliani were not coming to the reporter. He was speaking to someone else. Giuliani can be heard discussing overseas dealings and lamenting the need for cash, though it's difficult to discern the full context of the conversation. Giuliani says at the start of it, Charles would have had a hard time with a fraud case because he didn't do any due diligence. Charles. See, he's just talking about stuff. Has this got anything to do with him? Welcome
Well,
to
let's see. Also, Ed wants to talk about Jake versus Nate.
Jake versus Nate.
Which,
Oh, I love it.
yeah. So hang on, because I don't really want to get into that because like that's a whole drama thing that happens in the Discord, which is fun, by the way. Link down below. Um, no, but I will say I watched Nate's stream from this morning, and I'm pretty disappointed in him. He misrepresented a lot of what was being said to him in our Discord. Yeah,
Who
not really a fan of that.
who misrepresented?
Nate did.
But
I know. I'm
there
just
was,
saying, like,
there's,
be
but
honest at
there's
least. What's going on.
when it's all said and done, there was, there was nothing that came from Nate today that was any different than what I have come to expect from Nate.
Right.
He must have gotten laid this morning, and so he was feeling his oats, and yeah.
Well, no, that's the reason why he hasn't.
No,
He hasn't been. That's why he's been in tantrum mode, I guess.
I thought he just got married. Is there some problem that I don't know
I have
about?
no idea. I'm not going to speculate.
These green card marriages never work.
Damn.
Did I say that out loud? Sorry,
That was coming from Robert, not me.
I didn't say that. No, it's it's one of these things where
Ooh.
people have.
Ed's going to stick his phone in my back pocket.
No, I think he meant mine.
Oh, that's fine then too. Yeah.
Links are.
Well, we'll both.
I think it's all there in Discord. There's no link needed. You just go into Discord.
No, I think.
Or is he talking about Giuliani?
I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. NBC News. Look it up.
Yeah.
If they don't release that audio, it's fake news.
Right. No, I mean, I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's fake news unless they release the audio. And even then, I mean, peace was never an option since Stephen. Yeah.
No,
not.
No, when it all comes
not.
When it all comes down to it, this shit that goes on, it's not like it's just Nate. I mean, I see it from different people in our Discord, and other places, intentional or not intentional. This, I don't know. It's amazing that you can see people's hatred, boil up and come out in different ways. Like it's just like, really, do you really have this much animosity towards a group to where you just generalize an entire group based off bullshit accusations and diatribe and narrative? I don't know. I was impressed that Jake came out and set him straight on a few things, but the problem is you can't set Nate straight on anything.
There's a lot of people you can't do that to. They're just weren't interested in a conversation. Yeah.
I mean, when it's all said and done, this goes back to my perception is reality mindset. The way you perceive things. So the way that he rationalizes these groups, that's his perception of the group. But he turns it into a reality that he expects everyone should be on board with. Like, this is really happening. This is what happens all the time with everybody in this group. The entire group of people is bad because these things happen. He creates people create a reality in their head, and then they tell you it's true. They will not listen to anything, even fact, showing that it's not true, because they believe it and they are sure that you should believe it too. That is the reality, and it should be your reality. I don't love it. I'll get into everyone. You've seen me. I get into it sometimes where I'm just like, I got to call it out. But when it's all said and done, it's a free country. It's the First Amendment. It's freedom of speech. What I always sit and do in the back of my mind is just hope that when I see anybody doing it, and Nate's not the only one, like I said, in our Discord channel that does it. All I can really hope is that, at some level, it's just trolling. It's just shitposting.
I don't think it is.
And then on another level, that those individuals never act on the extreme bullshit that they say they want to have happen. Yes, Ed says no. I want to. He says you must
I wanna
believe,
watch
and
the
anyone who
Flutter
does
live
not
stream.
must be forced to believe or executed. And that's I don't know. Again,
These aren't the roids you're looking for.
these aren't the roids you're looking for. Nice. I sit around a lot, and I have to constantly ask myself if Nate is not 4D chessing us in his trying to do that in his own way. I mean, he's got many of us convinced that he's off his fucking nut. But is that the reality of the situation? Is that really, is he sitting around in his personal time in that mindset that he
I have no idea.
portrays in chat? I mean,
I have no idea. Yeah, you have to ask
right?
him.
You
Yeah.
can't be sure with Nate. So, I have to take I have to sit on the fence with it and not lean one way or the other. I mean, I won't say that, he and others haven't scared me with some of the shit I've seen posted in there. But, I don't know. You can't judge a
Yeah.
book by its cover, I guess.
But no, I mean, my whole thing with wanting to bring it up was just that one, I don't appreciate being misrepresented and frankly lied about, and then that's pretty much it. I mean,
But you're
I
a
just don't appreciate
libertarian
that. But
coward.
the thing is, I don't like drama and all that kind of shit. But there does come a time where it's like, okay, you're over there, lying about me. I don't care if they, or lying about us in general.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I have to bring it up and just say, no, what was represented there is not the truth at all.
Well, when it's all said and done, I always default to the most secure, happy place I have, and it's that simple. I don't give a what you say about me,
Yeah. I mean,
right? Because I trust in the 90% that looks at the source.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to recommend. Was like it's all there. I haven't no messages have been deleted, nothing like that. It's all there. You can see for yourself.
Right. And anytime someone wants to call me out, that's great. You want to talk shit about me? Go ahead. If you have something valid to talk shit about, then you're talking the right shit. But if not, people are going to look at the source and they're going to know. So that's the thing. I mean, I didn't even notice him disparaging you any more than he normally disparages you.
Oh no, I'm talking about on his live stream that he.
When he did.
Yeah.
Well, that maybe we need to take a road trip. I don't know.
No, we don't.
I mean, a lot of things can be solved with a little ass whooping. I'm just saying.
No, that's all right. Not interested in that.
Don't you have your flintlock?
Yeah, but I don't have any powder or any.
It's a long drive. You can grind some.
That's true.
Make it work, John. Make it work. By the time we get up there, you could have your first bullet loaded.
Misfire.
Right. Boom. Oh shit! I missed.
Oh man.
So I guess I'm going to have to go watch and see exactly what he said, and then. Was it bad enough if we just ban him? Should we just ban him?
No. I don't want to do that. No.
See? So, what is, how bad could it be if it's not bannable?
I wanted to have that one sentence, that's all. Just, don't appreciate being lied about.
You guys in your Jews discussion, it's just a horrible thing. It's just a horrible thing. I think you made a good point. You made a very good point in Discord today, and I want to point this out. Well, calm down. Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back, buddy. I think that gets one of these.
I can't see it, so.
Yeah, you should.
I'll see it in like 20 seconds when it comes up.
But the fact that you pointed.
That's funny.
The fact that you pointed out that you cannot take. And Jake, I have to say, you and Jake both. There was a combined. Was it Jake or was it Seawall? There's lots of factions, for instance, in the Jews, right? There's lots of different groups within the Jews. Like you've got Hasidic Jews, you've got your Reform Jews, you've got your Orthodox Jews, you've got, and much like Christians, much like anybody else, they have their different fine-tuned beliefs that they follow, right? But to sit and take, individual examples from a group and just say it's the whole group, it's just astronomically stupid. I mean, nothing makes someone sound more stupid than that. When you wholesale judge a culture, a group, a race, a religion, whatever you want, off the acts of, or the assumed acts of a few, it's just stupid. Nothing makes you look more ignorant. Do I think the Jews are taking over the world? No. I mean, if I were going to argue that somebody's taken over the goddamn world, I would still argue it's the Christians. I mean, or the Muslims are coming up strong.
Muslims are trying,
right?
They're
working
on it. But
I'm like,
they've been beaten back though, by mostly us.
I mean, the Jewish people have for a long, long time been known as miserly, gold digging, however you want to frame it.
Well, they've been used as scapegoats throughout history.
Why? Because they supposedly killed the wrong person.
Well, no, it's mostly because they're usually outsiders, are seen as outsiders to whatever civilization they're in. Whatever society they're in, they're seen as like the outsiders, and they do especially well, mostly because they live in tight-knit groups, and they have a very strong work ethic and prone to nepotism due to their tight-knit communities.
So they're Mexican.
Other communities.
So they're Mexican?
No. And so they do extremely well, and that makes the native people of that area pretty, jealous of them or envious of them. And then so it's easy for a particularly charismatic person to turn it around and blame all the problems on them. Meanwhile, it's usually that leader's problem. The leader is the one who's the problem.
Well, but you have to admit that whole little thing where they killed that Jesus guy, that really works against them.
Right. Well, I mean, I think I made a good point about that too. Was that that was the plan, right? The plan was to have him killed, and so they were just following God's plan.
Right. I mean, did they actually do anything wrong?
If they didn't do that, your sins would not have been forgiven.
Right.
And you'd be burning in hell if it weren't for the Jews. Boom.
Right. I mean, that is some amazing stuff to consider. Is like how would anybody Jewish be a bad guy for killing Jesus if they were completely intended to do it in the first place? I mean, you're just playing a part in the play, right?
Yeah, Stevens. 3 community guideline strikes later. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was defending the Jews. No, don't kick me off YouTube. We love the Jews. But not the Muslims. Well, no, we love the Muslims too. Damn it! And we love women and people of color and I don't know, gays and trans people. We love all of them. Please let us stay.
I don't know. I can't stand this kind of mindset. It's like, people are always looking for the boogeyman. They're always looking for the boogeyman, right? And it's like, look, wake up and smell the coffee. Everybody is the boogeyman. I mean, I don't care if they're
boogeyman to someone. Yeah.
I don't care what color they are, what religion they are. They're all the boogeymen. Look in Washington. Washington is filled with boogeymen of all different creeds and colors and nationalities and religions. Mm-hmm. They're all bad people because they're all in some way or another corrupt. And I say all, let me not generalize.
No.
Corruption is rampant in Washington, and it's
all of them.
And it doesn't see boundaries. It's not sequestered to any group. All the Jewish people run Hollywood. Do they? All I see is Hollywood runs its mouth more than anything, right? Yeah. It's these kind of things. I think the biggest boogeyman in my life is debt. Let's start an ism against debt, right? Like fuck racism, fuck sexism. Let's just have debt-ism, right? And everybody can hate debt. Nobody will tell you can't call debt bad words, and nobody will do it, right? Everybody could get on board.
Not yet. Give it 20 years.
That's my boogeyman. If somebody can come up with a better boogeyman for me than all my fucking debt and financial worries, please go ahead. Says Steven says, I identify as a trans-Pacific partnership. Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
Mrs. says, well, mostly one religion, but there are Christians and even a Hindu. What was he referring to?
Probably either Congress or Hollywood, one of the two.
Right. But there's number 4. There's number 4. So another community guideline strike.
Yeah,
nice.
So we got 4. Hell yeah.
All right. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm glad I went to all the trouble to pop this show up a little bit so we can be deplatformed.
Right. Good thing you went through all that effort.
Is there a particular group that's driving the World Bank and driving debt? Yes, there is a particular group. It's called greedy bastards.
It's also called the people who put themselves in debt.
You know, greed is not sequestered to the Jewish people. I can promise you that. I mean, is Donald Trump Jewish? No.
I'm sure he's a secret Jew.
No,
if you ask the right person.
He qualified himself as a Christian.
I'm sure if you ask the right person, he's a secret Jew.
And I'm willing to say that that's a greedy son of a bitch. I'm just saying. He's given me some ideas that he might be a greedy son of a bitch. So, yeah, I mean, and I get it. When okay, so yes, maybe people when we're talking about the World Bank, yes, maybe there are Jewish people, but this is not it, right? It's not like, I mean, you're telling me that the Illuminati is Jewish people, right? That's the Illuminati is the Jewish.
That's some big brain, stuff coming from you right there.
I mean, that's what it's got to be that you're telling me is that it's the Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Because I don't feel any Jewish oppression going on in anything, unless unless it's the finances, unless they're the ones heaping all this debt on me, But I thought it had a lot to do with other things like poor money management or silly shit like that, things that were my fault. But if I can blame the Jewish culture,
right? See,
is that what I can do?
It makes you feel better,
James, it says, I think the right person hangs out in my chat, but I'm not naming names. Do you know who he's referring to, John?
No, I don't see anything. I've only been in his chat once, unfortunately. So I'll have to try and be there.
Well, actually, he's just recently started live streaming, so in your defense. And there's 5.
There's 5, yeah.
What did we do wrong now?
We're about to be kicked off twice.
Right? Are you reporting us, Ed? This is my God, we are going to have to just stick to freedom scoop.
Send it to us. We'll use it as a sounder.
Hey, by the way, John, and I'm just putting it out there in case there's any users, Stephen Ignoramus, I'm actually going to tap you for some information. But as we speak, if I'm not mistaken, we are currently streaming as well on Picardo and Periscope. Those streams are up. I'm kind of testing them tonight. I didn't really put it out there that we're on those yet. I haven't started throwing links. I want to make sure that I've got those right because surprisingly enough, there's little things that have to happen with each platform. Even though you're streaming through one source, you got to do little things here and there. Like DLive is driving me crazy. I can't figure out how to change the damn title for the damn video. So Stephen Ignoramus, you're going to have to help me with that. At least you'll be useful. Hey, speaking of which, we're going to get out of here in just a minute. Before we go, Stephen, if it's possible, I would love to pull you in on a call for a few minutes with me and John after, off mic, because there's a couple of things for our stream that I wanted to talk to you about. Midget sodomy, Robert. It's all down. Oh, my God, yes. Nate and the sodomy thing. The sodomy thing. Oh, this is driving me crazy because, he's switched, though, from pedophilia to sodomy now.
It's all the same thing. You have to understand.
Well, no, it's not. See, that's the thing. He jumps on this train with a word, right? He's like sodomy this and sodomy that. And I'm like, do you know what sodomy is? I mean, sodomy, it's like he says sodomy like it's nothing but homosexual butt sex. But in reality, sodomy is just anal or oral. It just encompasses anal and oral sex.
I didn't even know oral counted as sodomy.
Yeah, it's considered part of sodomy. So,
Then fucking guilty.
I even had to ask him. I'm like, so is sodomy only bad when it's between the same sexes, or is sodomy still a sin if a husband and wife practice anal or oral? And of course, he's like, oh no. It's still a sin, and if a husband and wife do it in this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to live in a world where I can't get a blowjob from my wife.
So I went ahead and put Nate into my unsatisfied sexually category. Because I'm not going to lie. Just straight missionary sex stopped doing it for me around 1900.
I like the little self burn. That was good.
Yeah. So that was interesting how he went off on that, and see, and this is where I don't believe a fucking word he says sometimes. This is, because I'm like, okay, deep down inside, that boy's sinning. I know he is. He's doing some sinning behind them closed doors.
Let's go ahead and just jump off real quick.
He's sinning. All right, so we're going to get the hell out of here. We're going to wrap this up. So, John, while we're real quick, wrap it up, run through the list of things that are going on coming up in the show. Please hit it, John.
Yes. So last time I'll mention it, teamtrees.org, link in the description. Should be the first one there. Hit that up. So anyway, we've also got this coming up Sunday. I'll be on Stephen Ignoramus' channel doing a history stream about the French Revolution. So make sure you're there. Can't wait. That'll be a lot of fun. And then, Monday we've got R-Rated Conservative is going to be on. So that'll be really cool. Check that out. Then Tuesday. Tuesday. We're probably going to be doing a Freedom Scoop group poop shoot on Stephen Ignoramus' channel as well. I believe that's where it's going to be.
I believe it's going to be on Stephen's, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they want to use our fancy little setup here.
Yeah, maybe. And then Halloween, we've got our Halloween spooktacular from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern time, the only legitimate time zone, like I've said. And we're going to be doing that for St. Jude's. And so that'll be cool. So we'll be doing a whole bunch of stuff there. Then the next time we have something happening is Friday, December 6th. We'll be doing a 12-hour live stream for Toys for Tots. And so that'll be another fun one.
And we need
noon to midnight, I believe, for that one.
Yeah, it's tentatively noon to midnight. I think that's not a bad time to do it. If we need to do it, maybe at 11:11, we'll figure that out. But it is TBD at the moment.
Yes, and Stephen, I will ask RRC about his wrestling politics analogy. That'll be fun.
Nice.
I'll for sure do that.
There's politics in wrestling? Oh, wrestling politics analogy. Gotcha. That's what we need in politics, more wrestling. All right, so folks, if you like what you're hearing, make sure and hit the like button. And remember, there's going to be upwards to 4 channels to do that on now, so you're going to be busy. We're going to put the work on you. If you haven't done it already, hit the subscribe button. And if you have hit the subscribe button but haven't told a friend to hit the subscribe button, we need you to get busy with that as well. Outside of that, we will, as John said, be back on Monday night for Shooting the Shit at our regular time at 8:30. I would be remiss to remind you that we do have Freedom Scoop swag on freedomscoop.com. We have the Generational Gap t-shirt, and you should be able to get the Generational Gap coffee mug. If you look down in the description, there is a link to the t-shirt, and if you put in Gen Gap at the checkout cart, you will get yourself 15% off of that, and I would call that quite the savings.
By Grabthar's
so hammer. Crazy, we're just giving it away.
What a savings.
So anyway, we're gonna get the hell out of here. John, it's been real, it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. So unless you got anything else, I'm gonna peace the hell out.
Yep, let's get the fuck out.
All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you next time. Peace.
Yep, see you guys.